of that. And you can see how that club starts to fall in front of me as I'm starting to attack the ball. So just keeping it inside that cup or clasp just keeps the club behind me for that fraction longer, so I can then extend through the ball. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about one of the hottest training aids that have been on the market for probably the last year now, which is the PRO SENDR, which has been created by Tiger Woods' previous golf coach, Sean Foley, and his friend David Woods. So I'm going to take you through exactly the things that I would use it for and how I think it can help your game. So let's get into it. So this is the PRO SENDR, and it comes in two parts. It has a blue mesh kind of soft squishy ball, and it also has I call it a clasp or a cup that would go on your right hand to help you feel the correct places in the swing. So what I would do is I would put this on my right hand like so, and it fits really nicely. You can't really get it wrong. And I'd put it down enough that when I hinge my hand back, it falls into that cup. And then I would just strap that nice and tight like so, okay? Now, I'm actually gonna start with this piece and the things I've really liked from this training aid on this part in particular. So if I just grab my golf club, I really like that I can have a pretty good sense of what impact needs to feel like. So as I'm coming into the ball, I can certainly understand that I need my right hand to be bent a little bit more backwards, and you can see how that does a few things. That bends the shaft or makes the shaft have a bit more lean to it. And also, providing I put my hand into the cup the correct way, it also keeps the club face nice and square, so that when I'm coming into impact, I can certainly feel how much shaft lean I would like to have. Now, reality is we're probably not going to be able to have all of that shaft lean, but it's certainly nice to feel where I want it at the top and coming halfway down, but certainly into impact. I think it's quite nice to overtrain these things. So of course, I'm not going to want that much impact or that much shaft lean, but it certainly feels a little crazy. And I would start by hitting a few small shots like that and just training what I want impact to feel and look like. So again, I would very likely, my ball's going to end up in the water here, but I would preset that and then hold that in the cup and just rotate my body through the shot. Now, firstly, I can't believe how far that's gone for just a small shot, but it was very, very crisp. And I can see when I did that, I put that back into the cup. Now, I didn't just put it into the cup this way because that doesn't feel right, and that's touching the end of the club, and the club face is open. So it's very important I pull my right wrist back on itself so that it falls into that cup. And for me, it certainly feels like that cup or this clasp is on top of the club, on top of the grip when I'm doing this. So one more time, I'd put that there. I'd feel like that's on top. Have a few goes where I just turn through and hold it into that cup all the time. So straight away, I've got a lot of shaft lean on that, which has given me quite a bit of ball speed for such a small shot. Because when I'm coming into the ball, I'm starting to compress the golf ball. I'm coming through with a square face and hitting it nicely square on. And I think when I hold it into that cup as well, what's quite nice is that helps me get the club coming from slightly behind me, okay? Whereas what I'll see of a lot of players is as they use this cup and or not use the cup, but as they come down, they would release it out of that. And you can see how that club starts to fall in front of me as I'm starting to attack the ball. So just keeping it inside that cup or clasp just keeps the club behind me for that fraction longer, so I can then extend through the ball. So I think it gives such a wonderful sensation of what impact needs to feel like. Now, the second thing I think it's fantastic for is at the top of the swing. So when we actually reach the top of our swing, as long as I put my hand in that cup, it actually gives me a nice flat left wrist. Nothing too crazy, nothing too bowed or cupped, but it feels like as I get it in there, I don't want to put it in necessarily straight away this time, but as I go to the top, I can really feel like I'm twisting the face closed in an effort to get it into that cup or that plate. And what we see from a lot of players, they go to the top of the swing and their right wrist is almost bowed this way and they get a lot of cupping in their left hand. And that has a direct influence to the club face opening throughout the swing. So for me, I think it's a really good thing to feel like I'm twisting my hands to the right, and that allows it to go into that cup when I get to the top of my swing. And I think another nice piece as I do this is feeling like I'm really pressing it into that cup, twisting wise and back wise. As I start working into my downswing, I can really feel that club staying behind me and the club face closing a little bit, which is giving me a really nice sensation that I'm going to hit that nice draw. I can feel the ball is going to curve to the left when I do those things. So demonstrating that for you now, what I'm going to do is go to top, just feel that a couple of times. I might even then feel that into impact too, and then try and hit a shot with this. Oh, and that felt like it come out really powerful again. I felt like I got so much club on the back of that ball there. I certainly felt coming down that I had a lot more shaft lean. I certainly felt the face was a little bit more closed, which gave me the confidence to actually rotate through the shot without any fear that the ball was going to go offline. So the third piece to this video is going to be this little mesh ball. And there's a reason I've left it till last, because I personally struggle the most with this. I find this the most difficult. But all I'm going to do is pop this ball on the wrist here. Now, when I put my hands together, that should sit really nicely between my, my forearms here. Now, this is used for two things mainly. The first thing is to make sure my elbows and arms stay a little bit more connected as we get to the top. This is really helpful for allowing this right arm to come down and the club to shallow. Whereas this is my issue, and one of the reasons I've left this till last is I would go to the top and my arm would go a bit this way, and you can see now what that does to my elbow and the shaft pitch. So just feeling like I'm squeezing that ball really changes the way that shaft comes down. The second thing this is really good for is when we get a little bit narrow as well, it's quite common that the ball will work close to my chest or separate again. So it's quite nice to feel some width. Feeling that ball is a little bit more pushed away from me as I do these things. So feeling the ball's a little bit more pushed away with the elbows together. And again, you can actually just use the ball between the arms on its own. This cup does come off and you can just use it as a wrist strap as well. Now, this is going to be the difficult one for me, so this will be interesting because this is where I really struggle in my game. But as I go to the top, feeling my elbows staying together, feeling my hand in that cup as I come down, let's see if I can certainly make contact with it. I'm going to do a couple of slow ones just so I can get the feel. Pretty good, actually. Didn't quite get all of that, but again, I can really feel how that was making me do those things. So I certainly hope this short video helped into one of probably the greatest training aids I've ever used, as it does a few different things, but also into how it can help your game, perhaps how you can feel a little bit more compression into impact as well. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you could subscribe, it'd really mean a lot. So thanks, and I'll see you all soon.